Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, what I want to talk about is how you can start earning 10K per month. And the reason why I want to tell you about this is because I remember when I first started earning 10K per month, I didn't realize that there were certain things that existed that was holding me back. I thought all I needed to know were skills like SEO, paid ads, and stuff like that in order to succeed. But I quickly realized that it wasn't just that, right? And so there's certain things that you're potentially trying to do that is, you don't have the right foundation in order to accomplish whatever the goal is that you want to accomplish anyways. And so you're losing before you even start because you don't have the right path to guide you forward. You don't know what steps you should take because you're brand new to this. Or maybe you've been doing it for a while, but nothing is making sense to you. And so, if you've watched videos and courses and you've invested and you still haven't seen success in trying to hit this 10K per month mark, then it's something that's way, way deeper than just developing skills. And so the first thing we need to do is address the difference between these two things. Right? And you're probably wondering, well, why am I even comparing traits and skills? Well, because the skills that people tell you that you need to learn are things that are external representations of value. So, for example, SEO is not an internal thing to you. It's something that already exists. There's a marketplace for it. And business owners have challenges generating leads for their business. So they need someone who knows how to do SEO in order to help them. The same thing for Facebook ads, right? And so I'll start to draw these out, but these, SEO is one skill, right? Copywriting, right? I know my handwriting is terrible, and I don't want to talk to you with my back turned, right? But copywriting, Facebook ads. Right? These are all the things that they're telling you that you need to learn. I don't know, design. Right? Anyways, you get the main thing or the point of what I'm trying to say. And everyone is telling you that you need to learn these skills. Right? And again, these are external representations. Representations of value, right? And you've probably already tried this stuff. You've probably already tried learning Facebook ads, design, copywriting, SEO, and you're still not seeing this 10K per month. And the reason why is because it starts from something that's fundamentally deeper than understanding this, right? First off, in order to hit 10K a month, you have to first be cognizant that you need to become a new person. You can't be the same person with the old habits that you had trying to become a new person that's going to be able to earn this much. Your habits need to change. The things that you consume need to change. The people you hang around need to change. And it's way deeper than just this. And a great way to really look at this is if you think about all of the greatest basketball players that ever existed, like Kobe Bryant, for example. Kobe Bryant knew how to shoot and knew how to do all the stuff that he needed to do, and he understood the fundamentals of the game. But Kobe Bryant also had things within him that made him a great basketball player because everybody else that was playing on a professional level also knew the same stuff as Kobe. So what took him to the next level? The thing that took him to the next level was the traits that he possessed, right? Like discipline, resilience, curiosity, right? And so these are all things, and I know this is, just stick with me until the end of this video because I'm going to, tie all of this back together to make it make sense. But you need to have those types of traits. You need to be disciplined. Right? You need discipline. You need to be resilient. I'm going to tell you why in a second. Right? You need to have even, you need to have faith, right? You need to absolutely believe that nothing can stop you, right? And you need to have discipline. You need to be resilient. You need to have faith. I mean, ultimately, you just need to feel unstoppable. And you need all of these different, you need curiosity. If you're not curious about what you're doing, how can you even compete against someone like me who's constantly curious, constantly looking for different things, right? You need to, just be hungry. Just overall. And so if you think about it, all of the people that were great, and this is internal, right? So this is internal. So this is internal, representation of, honestly, this is internal representation of you, right? The thing is that you'll never be able to get far with any of these skills just by learning them. You'll never be able to get far because there's so many people who learn these skills. Just like there's so many NBA players who learn how to play basketball, but none of them are on the level of Kobe Bryant, and it's because they don't possess these things. And maybe they do to some degree because obviously to get into the NBA, you have to have this to some degree. But like these guys just take it on a whole nother level. And so if one person has it once, then they have it twice. Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs, Inky Johnson, all of these people that were great at what they do, Floyd Mayweather, right? And so you're basically, what you're doing right now, and the reason why you're not having the success that you want is because you're trying to build this on a shaky foundation. Everything starts from here. Everything. Like, in order to be successful in general, by whatever your definition of success is, everything starts from here. And so the thing is that there's some people in this world, which you have to understand, and this is something that I had to understand too. There's some people in this world, first of all, nobody's born with either of these, right? I mean, to some degree, it's in our human nature to dictate what our personality will be like, and obviously we come from different backgrounds and stuff like that. So to some degree, you can debate that this can be within someone more than someone else because it's something that they learn within their household. But what you have to understand fundamentally is that we are all capable of improving both of these things, but you can only improve this one. I mean, it applies to both of these, but you can really take this to the next level if you're cognizant of it. And so I'll use an example from when I used to work in corporate America, right? So like I used to work with really big clients. And one of the clients that I used to work with was Chase Bank. And we did a whole bunch of phenomenal work when I was working on that account. However, there were people there that just, because I didn't go to school, like I dropped out of college, and because I also didn't take high school seriously, and I didn't read books, I didn't do anything like that. I didn't understand finance. I didn't understand some of the words that they would use. My vocabulary wasn't up to par. There were people who were solely better than me at multiple different areas of life, even if I was as good as them with SEO, because they had developed these things. Like, they developed discipline from reading books because reading books is boring, right? They developed resilience from going to the gym because going to the gym is hard. They developed faith from going to school for 4 years and not knowing if they were going to make it. They had to believe in themselves, right? And so, they developed curiosity through being curious about the things that they were learning and trying to get more knowledgeable as time went on, right? And they were hungry. And this was signified because they were able to finish school. And so for me, like, I wasn't any of these things, like, naturally. I never really was super disciplined. Like, everything that I used to start, I would quit. I wasn't really that, I had some tough skin, I will say, but not as much as, like, other people, right? My faith, pretty okay, but not to that degree. curiosity. I wasn't really curious about anything. The only thing that I wanted to do, honestly, was go home and play video games. And I just wasn't hungry. Like, I came from a background where I never thought about this stuff at all, right? It wasn't until I was exposed to all of this to where this stuff became a reality for me. And so this is where I started to notice the difference. This is where I really started to notice the separation. I'm just going to draw a line between this. This is where I started to notice the separation between these people and me. Because on this side, these people had all of this stuff, and then and I had these things too. I just didn't work on them. But I was really good on this side, right? I had all the skills that you would think that you need in order to be quote unquote successful at the job, right? But because I never worked on this stuff, people I did great work. I did amazing work, guys. But I'm being honest with you. People overshadowed me because they had this, right? Because they read more books than me. They knew more about the industry than I did. They were more curious than me. They were, I wouldn't say they were hungrier than me at this time, but they just were much further ahead of me. And so the thing is that you have to realize that the amount of value that you provide to a market is also in proportion to how much you're willing to demonstrate that value. Because at the end of the day, if you can't demonstrate this, if you can't show this, you're not going to be able to get far. And you won't be able to show this if you don't work on this, because when things get too tough and you lose a client, you're going to quit. Trust me, I've lost clients. I've been there before. Look, you can earn 10K all you want. You can earn 10K for 1 month. The key is to keep this going. You want this to be monthly recurring revenue, right? And if you want this to be monthly recurring revenue, you have to be disciplined. You have to have resilience. You have to have faith. You have to have curiosity. You have to be unstoppable. And you have to be hungry. And there's other things here that I'm not even mentioning that you need to have overall. It's way more than just understanding Facebook ads, design, copywriting, SEO, and all this stuff. Because at the end of the day, this is what stacks over time. These platforms change. I mean, copywriting is an exception because copywriting is something that you do that's fundamental to human beings overall. But Facebook ads and SEO and the newest designs that people find good will change over time, right? But this stacks. And so you get a much higher ROI when you focus on this stuff. Like when you focus on this stuff, like you take it from being no color in there, and you start filling in the blank, and you start pouring time into developing this stuff, oh man, it's a massive difference, right? And so you're probably wondering, well, what do you need to do to actually become better at this stuff? And so I think that there's just certain things that you can work towards in order to do this. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So for me, growing up historically, I used to hate reading. Honestly, the moment I started to realize that reading helps with your thinking, helps with how you think about things, helps with your communication skills, and when I started to realize that communication skills were so important, I started reading, right? And it helped me build up discipline. So if you read and you actually finish the whole book, right, you'll be able to get discipline, okay? If you want to be resilient, you got to do something hard. So for me, I started becoming more resilient when I started going to the gym and that's why I always start my day in the morning now with something hard. Like if it's hard as hell, give it to me, because by the time I'm done with this, I know that whatever's in front of me, I can accomplish, right? So I would recommend people going to the gym or doing some type of nutrition diet, right? Like those things, you have to be resilient, right? And like, how do you practice faith? You know what? I should have replaced faith with patience. But I think ultimately, you got to be able to have patience. And so I think reading also helps with this, like just in general. Going to the gym helps with this because you can't get results immediately. So these two things can also can point back at faith. But overall, you just have to believe. And so the way that you develop a belief system is you start talking to yourself. Like sounds crazy, but you have to do this. Like I'm telling you, everything that I did like in order to hit 10K per month and beyond, I wrote down, I saw an interview of Jim Carrey saying that he wrote a letter to himself saying that he'd be a millionaire by a certain age with an exact check amount or whatever. And when I was younger, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't plan on being able to make money and stuff like that. I'm not a millionaire, but I didn't plan on this. But I just wrote it down. This was before I knew what digital marketing was. I didn't know what any of this stuff was. And I wrote down exactly what I wanted by the age that I wanted. And I wish I had the letter still so I could show you guys, because it was in my wallet and I don't know what happened to it. But I wrote it down and I was able to manifest this life. So you got to be able to practice manifestation, right? So, like, you got to be able to manifest stuff, right? And then you got to be curious. And this is something that is usually within you. But, like, you should ask yourself certain questions every day. Like, when you're working on something and something goes wrong, you shouldn't just be okay with it going wrong and somebody giving you the answer. You should be like you should always be questioning why. Like, why did that go wrong? What could I have done to make that better, right? And I mean, you have to do this with every single thing. And you know, if you want to be hungry, right? You gotta stop relying on people, because some people say that they want to be hungry, but the reality of the situation is that you're relying on people. You have your family taking care of you. You have no responsibilities, right? So stop relying on people. And so, like, I would suggest that you get a responsibility. Even if, you know, even like what you can do, honestly, is wake up every day and make your bed. That's a responsibility. Take the garbage out. Like, start with something small if you want to accomplish something big. And I promise you, the more that you start to color this in, right? The more that you start to color this in, right? The word trade won't even be a thought of yours, because the thing is that it will already be within you, right? Like, all of this stuff will be within you. You'll have these traits, but it isn't because you're thinking about it. It's because you are it, right? And so, let's get this right. It's not because you're thinking about it, right? So, like, you want to basically picture this as your worldview. Oh, my marker's dying on me. Right? And you want to develop that, okay? And now, once you understand this, once you know how this works, then you can go here, okay? Then you can go, you can learn Facebook ads, you can learn design, you can learn copywriting, you can learn SEO, you can master all of this stuff, and you'll be more successful with this stuff because you worked on everything internally. And so I think the issue with the content of today is that everyone is telling you, in order to be successful, by your definition, because you have to know that success is determined by you. Whatever you think that success is what it will be, right? And that's why it's important to manifest this stuff. But the reality of the situation is that you can learn this stuff, you can get good at it, but the only way you'll be successful with it is if you continue to work on yourself internally. Everything starts with you. Like, your perspective in this world is the only thing that matters, because your perspective dictates your perception. And the thing is that if you are, for example, if you're in a relationship with someone and you believe that person to be a cheater, then you're always going to believe that person to be a cheater, whether they're a cheater or not. And the only way that you can break that perception is if you change your perspective, right? And if you start looking at things differently. It doesn't matter what they do externally, because at the end of the day, you're only going to believe what you believe. And so you have to realize that everyone in this world is a mirror of yourself, right? And until you start working on yourself, which is the bigger thing ultimately that you need to do, everything else around you is going to be harder to accomplish. And that's really it. You know, this is what's holding you back from being able to hit 10K a month. So I hope you like this video. I have an ebook coming out that's going to tell you like everything and give you everything step by step. But I'm doing this series to go over, the reason why you're not making 10K a month right now. And if you want to get to 10K a month, these are the things that you have to practice. It's not this. It's this. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.